It is pickle season on the farm. If you are anything like me and grow cucumbers, they are one of those items that if they're having a good year, they are having an amazing year, and you just have so many cucumbers. And while I love to eat a cucumber, I can only eat so many, so I have to start making so many pickles. I don't always just want to can all my pickles for long-term preservation. So I love to make quick refrigerator pickles, and I know a lot of you guys were asking for a recipe for refrigerator pickles, so this is for you all. It is so simple, so classic, and it is one my grandma used to make all the time. She actually made them by the gallonful. No joke, gallon jars of them, and then give them to all of us to enjoy because they are so fast and easy to put together and taste delicious. These are a little bit sweeter than some other pickles you might be used to, so if they're too sweet for you, you can of course adjust the sugar down and add more vinegar to offset it and make them a little bit more sour. But I promise you, this is less sugar than a lot of those ones that you buy off the store shelves, and you are making them at home, so they really are better for you. To start, you just want to have your brine ready to go. So pour your vinegar into a container, and then your sugar, and then a little bit of salt. Just mix that together till it's completely incorporated and all the sugar and salt are dissolved. You want to make sure they're dissolved because it's no good to pour the brine in and then have the granulars in there because they won't fully ever dissolve or mix in. Once that's dissolved, you can just add your spices. This is not overly or heavily spiced, it is just simple, classic pickle spices. A little bit of turmeric, some celery seed, and some mustard seed. Just stir those in and then set that brine aside and start assembling your jars. You can of course use any type of jar or airtight container to put these into your fridge. I love to use these Weck jars because I'll admit, because they're gorgeous and they look great in my fridge, but that sounds a little bit weird, so it's also because they do a great job. They actually do have a really good seal, keep those smells out of my fridge, because just because I love a pickle does not mean I want my fridge and everything else in it to smell like a pickle. So having a good seal is important, and so these jars are just really great and classic to use. Make sure your jars or whatever container you're using are cleaned and sterilized, just so there's no contaminants or dirt in there. Like I do with so many of my pickled items, I'm gonna put a little bit of chopped onion in the bottom. I do this all the time because it really just flavors all the pickles or whatever you're canning or pickling. And so it's so delicious to put in the bottom. And if you're anything like me, or if you watch me, you know I love things spicy. So I'm gonna add some great hot peppers from my garden and just throw them into the bottom of the jar. I'll make one jar spicy and one jar not, but you can of course choose any one that you want, spicy or not. But try the spicy, it's really good. I sliced them in half to make sure those seeds, which is where a lot of the heat lies, are really in the brine liquid. Once your onion, and if you're using it, the hot pepper, are inside the bottom of that jar, you can just start slicing your cucumbers. Now, I like to make sure to get cucumbers that are at least under 2 inches in diameter, because if they're any bigger, they're really just gonna be too seedy on the inside, and those seeds are no fun to eat. So make sure your pickles aren't too big. If they are, just take the seeds out and then make spears, and you can make like a spear refrigerator pickle. That's a lot better way to do it. That way you're not throwing anything out. I try to use everything I have and don't throw it out. So, if you do have too big of pickles, just make spears. But don't have too big of pickles, that'll just solve it all, and just have small ones. Make sure to cut always about a ½ inch off each side or end of the cucumber. This is where a lot of enzymes are, and it can actually give a bitter or off taste. So just slice those off, set them aside, and then slice your pickles. Personally, this is something I like a little bit thicker pickle. If you like a thinner pickle, just slice into whatever way you like to eat your pickles. There's really no right or wrong. Once they're sliced, just start throwing them into your jar. You can slightly pack them or just make sure there's no really large air packets, but you don't want to necessarily just like press them in. Just make sure that they're in there well. Once your jars are full, you can put a little bit more onion or hot pepper on top. And then just pour the brine up to the rim. You want to make sure that everything is covered in the brine. because if it isn't, it may not preserve well and could spoil. The brine is actually what keeps things from spoiling. Once you have the brine in, you're good to go. Put the lid on, make it airtight, and then just place it in your fridge. Now, these pickles, I will admit, as pickles sit, they start to shrink a little bit and lose some of their moisture, and so they will actually shrink up into the jar, and you'll start noticing that the bottom of the jar is empty, it seems like. That is completely normal, and you do not have to worry about it. If you want to make sure your jar is completely full, just as it shrinks up, you can keep adding more sliced cucumber, but it's really something you don't have to worry about, and just let it go and eat it when they're ready. I think these pickles are best about 7 to 10 days after, but they keep for at least 3 months in your fridge. And honestly, I've once in a while found some that are older than that, probably almost a year, but I don't necessarily recommend that. But they still actually taste exactly the same. But you didn't hear it from me. So put them in your fridge, eat them after a few days, and you are gonna find that these are so quick, so simple, that you're gonna wanna make pickles all the time. I can't wait for you guys to try these pickles. Let me know what you think or what variations you make on them. If you like this video, make sure to click like below. And if you want to see more great videos, make sure to click subscribe, and you are going to become part of the Gray Boxwood channel. And you will be up to date on all the videos we have. Thanks for watching, and until the next pickle, I'll see you soon.